Welcome to the National Indian Gaming Association's The New Normal, new weekly webcast series with Victor Rocha. My name is Ashley Cope, and I am the marketing manager for the Indian Gaming Trade Show and Convention. I just wanted to share a few housekeeping tips before we get started. Everyone is muted by default except for our speakers. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question or chat box and they will be brought up at the end. And this session will also be recorded and available on our website. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Victor Rocha, Conference Chairman of the National Indian Gaming Association.
Thank you, Ashley. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victor Rocha. I'm the Conference Chairman for the National Indian Gaming Association, and welcome to the New Normal. Today is a really interesting webcast. I think, we were trying to decide what we're going to do. And it was very obvious to me that we should be talking about a conference, latest updates on where we're at. We've been working our butts off for the last month or so, 2 months, I should say, even longer than that. It's exhausting and it's exciting. So we want to bring you guys the latest updates. As you can see, we have our full crew here. Chairman Stevens will be joining us in a little while. But obviously, my co-host, Jason Giles, is the Executive Director of the National Gaming Association. Our dear friend, Brian Sullivan, the Vice President of Gaming US for Clarion Gaming Group, and one of our Svengalis trade groups, and one of my mentors, to be honest with you. Our dear friend, Ed Gallo, who's Director of Sales for Clarion Events. Ed, Brian, Jason, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Great. Looking forward to getting back.
Good, gentlemen. So, let's just jump right in there. And Jason, how are you doing, my friend?
Good. Not too bad. I mean, it's been hectic. It's getting more hectic, which I guess is good. And I hope everyone's noticing, things are opening up and masks are flying off, and we're still encouraging everyone to get that vaccine. So we don't want to be the next event where something small breaks out or anything. So vaccination is still the key word of the day. And in our correspondence and everything, you'll be seeing that we still want everybody to come there vaccinated. So,
well, when we started having this conversation, Jason, a year ago or something like that, or even for this conference, that was, we were doing a crapshoot when we decided, okay, July, Las Vegas. We didn't know. We were talking January. We didn't know, and it seems to be paying off. Like you said, the masks are coming off. You're seeing not just in Las Vegas, although Vegas seems to be ahead of everyone else.
Mhm.
They seem to be in a real rush to get back to the old normal. But it seems like it's going to be a good event. I think that we might have got really lucky,
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday, Vegas announced no more restrictions. So, that's earlier than the timeline they had released back in February. So we're I know we've sent out correspondence saying that if you weren't vaccinated, you would have to take a on-site quick COVID test, but it looks like that requirement will be going away as well by the time of July 19th. So,
well, that's really interesting because there was a major concern of ours, as Native Americans, as leaders in the National Gaming Association. It's very important, and it's been drilled into our head to take care of our elders, and gaming is, a lot of people are not spring chickens. We get a lot of the young people and stuff like this, but sorry, just got a message.
Yeah.
But that's great news, that the fact we're not going to be doing or have it mandatory vaccination, that kind of leaves it up to everyone. Brian, how are you doing? Good afternoon, Brian.
Good afternoon, Victor. Jason, how are you today?
So what do you think of that? No vaccinations, no mandatory vaccinations. You don't have to wear the scarlet letter. Although my name is Victor and I was going to wear a big V on my hat, just so it was going to be for vaccinated though.
No, everybody knows you, Victor. But we right along, what we were trying to do is work with the city and work with the state and everything to really follow the guidelines for safety, and that has been the challenge, but also it now seems to be the success. When we did postpone back in March of when the pandemic first hit, we've actually planned this event like 3 times in 3 different places. You may recall we were considering New Orleans and different places, but it's now, it seems to be the right time. COVID is heading down. So many folks are now getting their vaccines and things. It looks like it's going to be a great event. One thing is that we're going to be the first event ever held in the new Caesars Forum. They were scheduled to open up in March and then just had to immediately close down. They will have a couple of small events, but we're going to be the first real run test of the facility. I've been there, Victor. I know you've been there with me. I think the place, I always say, looks a little bit too nice to be a convention center.
It is massive. And I've been telling anyone, not only is it massive, it's fully carpeted, which I think it's very helpful for your feet, you know?
Yeah, it's a great facility. Lots of graphics around everywhere. Lots of ways to get in. It's a giant ballroom. It's 4 big rooms that can be divided up into about 100 different rooms. So we're going to be utilizing it. It's all in one area, all on one floor. So I think folks, when they come, are really going to be surprised and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, you know what? And I think the ease of access is really incredible, because the fact that we're on one of the monorail stops too. If you go to the monorail stops where they have with the observation wheel, that's our stop. You just walk down the stairs and you're right there at the event. So no more long distance walking. That's, you know, there's a lot of things to be very grateful for. And then more importantly, the next stop over is exactly where Res is too. So people can just go back and forth on the monorail. They don't necessarily have to walk, which makes it even easier for us to, you know, have this event and stuff like that. Ed, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Yes.
You know, just keep on talking to customers every day about, you know, updating them on, you know, protocols, and the emails I get daily about people like clapping their hands at us saying kudos for bringing us a live event. We're excited to be the first gaming event. You know, the only challenges we've heard is, you know, some of the folks that are international that just can't come.
Right.
And that's, you know, they want to come, but they can't come. And, you know, they have the travel restrictions. So there's a handful of our friends in Canada, and then you got a handful over in Europe. But it is what it is. But everybody else seems to be pretty fired up, you know, and our attendance looks great too. We're tracking well. So, you know, it's
so when you started, Ed, how were you selling this conference? Because it was still a pandemic, or mentality was changing, but we're dealing with realities of rules and regulations. Were you telling people to put in plexiglass, wear masks? I mean, obviously now it's just like come and stuff, and obviously you don't have to be the mask police anymore. But
No,
how
you know,
has that changed?
you know, it was, listen, we've come a long way in what, 4 months? So like the conversations were obviously, we are not having an event unless it is safe for everyone. And we're going to follow the protocols of the CDC and the Nevada guidelines. And it's, you know, it was a lot of, you know, are you going to wear a mask? Do I need like one way? Are there going to be arrows one way down aisles? And, you know, and a lot of it was just, you have to be transparent and be honest of what you're hearing, and listen to them, what their concerns are. And it's, listen, what I told you in February won't be the same in March, and then on and on and on. And like, so I would tell them, you know, this is where we're at. But you know what, we're going to talk in a month and it's going to be different. So yeah, I feel the customers they appreciate the transparency, the honesty, and, you know, and just listening to their concerns and being able to address them. And that's what I feel like our entire team has done all along.
Yeah. And so Ed, what is the floor going to look like? You know, when we initially had this conversation, you know, we were like, well, you know, we could partition up walls, we could put in soft curtains, and, you know, we just didn't know in the beginning how we were going to be, you know, taken by the industry. But it just seems like everyone has bought into this. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, listen, right now it's going to be as normal as a floor plan as it can be. It's 2 ballrooms, which are obviously not one contiguous hall that we've always had, but it will be the similar setup of a main entrance down the middle, and everyone could choose left or right if they want to go. You know, we don't need to do the arrows of one way. The way you know, as Brian has been updating me as we've been going, is, you know, the way, the size of each ballroom, the heights of it, we could technically fit 10,000 plus people in there. We clearly don't do that. You know, we're anticipating 4,500 plus this year versus our normal 6,000 that we would, which I think is still very solid numbers.
Right, right. Well, you remember at one point, one of my ideas is that we had like a plexiglass window between people, so they're like talking like they're in a police station. You know what I mean? You have one on one side of the window, one on the other, and you can do that. So I'm so glad you didn't have to set up a police visiting room. You know, and
No, listen, we had a layout, and if we had to do 20-foot aisles between each, you know, instead of the 10, we would have done it. It would have been
Yeah.
challenging, and it would have been, you know, whatever. I mean, listen, we still have a lot of the slot companies and other companies that ask me, do I need to put my product 6 feet apart, you know, in their booth? And I think a lot are still going to be mindful of that.
Right.
You know, again, I think this year you're going to see a lot of openness of the booths where some would build more walls. So it's going to be a little bit, you know, I think it's going to be a little more user friendly for the attendees, which, you know, when you walk up to a big wall, it can be intimidating, you know, and they're not going to see a lot of that this year. So I think it's just, I mean, listen, I think it's going to be amazing what we're going to deliver.
Yeah, well, you know, I think if this Memorial Weekend was any indicator, I think everyone is just rushing to get back to the normal. I was at my my tribal casino this weekend, and it was absolutely packed. The restaurants, the slot machines, the poker tables. My tribe reopened our pool, and that was packed too. So I think everyone is rushing back to new normal. I think you know, we've done everything we could. Like you said, at one point we were talking about doing one-way aisles. We were figuring everything and anything we could do to make it as safe as possible to people to come back. And, you know, Ed, you did mention something I think is really important, which is about Europe. You know, a lot of our European friends still can't travel. They still have issues depending on where they are. And then, you know, we had a friend, Eva Bakken. Eva had to go to a wedding last weekend, I believe, in Italy. And she had to quarantine for 5 days, you know, with their whole family before they could even go out and stuff like that. So that kind of makes it very restrictive. I don't know what all the rules in Europe and stuff like that, but I think that's going to be definitely be a drag. But I do believe that because there's so much gaming going on in the United States, I think that for a lot of Europeans, it'll be worth it because this is where it's happening right now. California announced they're going to be having this, the tribes will have an initiative for sports betting in California in the 2022 ballot. That's the golden goose for sports betting as far as everybody's concerned. So I think that's going to be a very important thing. We're going to be talking about that at NIGA. That's definitely going to be one of our showcase sessions. You know, so it's getting exciting, right? You know, we're still waiting for Chairman Stevens.
Here he comes.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Morning,
Wow.
gentlemen.
Kind of like Beetlejuice, right? I just didn't say it 3 times and he appears. Chairman, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm doing great, sir.
Good. Chairman, so what we were just talking about the conference, you know, the rest of the world seems to be getting back to normal. I know at Pechanga, at my casino, it's still masks are mandatory right now. But I think by the time our conference happens, definitely won't be happening. In Vegas, masks aren't mandatory. What are you hearing about the conference? What kind of response are you hearing from the people?
You know, I'm hearing an excited response, you know, right from day one when we announced it, that especially from the tribal leadership. I think that they're excited about it. Our regulators, our professional people, you know, everybody's going to do their best to get there. I think that, you know, even though our we feel like our gaming world is rebounding in some cases very well. In other cases, we still have folks that have a ways to go yet. But I think folks are excited about it, and I think that they're looking forward to being a part of this thing. And I'm excited about it. It's really important that I know you gentlemen are, talking about some of the relaxation of these protocols. Well, we need some of that to be able to get our folks in the room, but I need folks that really know that we're not going to abuse that and not going to be careless. I've got my mask on here this morning, and I got a spare one here. This is a real good one. It's a KN95. I got this from my friend Liz Rapp. And these things are Lynn Wrap, I'm sorry. These things are supposed to be the best ones. So I got masks and I wear them every single day. I try to keep a social distance. I'm trying to be careful. So I think there's a real good reason to be excited about what's about to happen in Las Vegas. But I think we got to be careful. I'm going to keep preaching that.
Yeah, and by the way, if you want to wear your mask, if you feel safe and comfortable, we absolutely recommend it. That's not going to be a problem. I think that's going to be around us for a while, but I think a majority of people, like myself, as soon as I walk out of a building, man, that mask is off. I wear it because I have to, not because I want to.
And I think, Victor, I think that's the real and nice part about it, where there is some room. And for those of us who are fully vaccinated, you do have that latitude, and that's the real exciting part, because a year ago, where were we? We were in rooms, looking at my grandchildren through the front bay window while we were dropping off Easter baskets, so we've come a long way, but I really think we have to be careful. And I think folks got to be vaccinated.
I saw my mom on Sunday, and I told her, even though the virus has gone, I'm still going to wave at her from the other side of the window. I told her that's not changing for the foreseeable future.
I see my mother. I think it was like right around the first of the year, and I was finishing my therapy for total knee replacement. My 81-year-old mother's walking in with a sore knee. A few weeks later, she went in. She got a total knee replacement, but she's moving around and she's doing well. And she's 81, so we're just happy that she got the vaccine and that she's practicing safety protocols. And that's really where we're looking out for the safety of our elders. And I think that we really should be excited about one thing, is that people are healthy and safety. We should continue to be in a blessing mode for those who have lost so many of our elders, and even our young people have suffered through this. So I think that we're in good shape. And I think I prefer to go to Indian country. I'll say that for the record. But the one thing is clear: the Indians like Las Vegas. It's a great location. It's a cost-effective location, and the way we have it set up is pretty safe. So I think that we're probably not the first Indian event. We might be one of the first successful events, and because everybody's doing their job and everybody's working hard. So congratulations to everybody. Bottom line, Victor, and the rest of the crew here, is the leadership. They're the ones that deserve the pat on the back, because they're the ones that drive our car. They're the ones that we're working for. So if you see them, thank them for giving us this opportunity. And I thank all of you, including our staff at NIGA. Jason Giles has led a great team here. Victor is our conference coordinator, conference chairman, and all those folks that continue to live in this world. We got a ways to go, but there's a reason to be excited. But we have to be careful, and we have to be conservative as well. So we have a great and amazing time.
And Victor,
is your mom going to be attending? Ernie, is your mom going to be attending?
Still 50-50. She's moving around. She's in that window. If you get,
she has a knee problem, right?
Yeah, I just had a knee replacement, so I know where the window is, and she's just coming down the other side of the mountain. So I'm not even asking her till she's a little further down the other side, because she's just past that window with the most pain and struggling part of the therapy. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. So I'm hoping.
Well, the reason why I ask is my 81-year-old mother already said she's going too. So I think this is a trend. I think they feel comfortable. My mom feels safe. She's been fully vaccinated, and she can't wait to get back to the normal.
Same as my mom, and she's equally independent as your mom.
Right. Jason, you had something to say.
Well, picking up on Chairman, what he was saying, we've come a long way, and we still have a long way to go. And some folks are asking, when can we see updated conference program and the details? Certainly your sessions, Victor, are a big selling point. And, look, folks, it's the same message. Just yesterday is when they opened everything up. So that really, now we can implement our spacing requirements and what we're doing for how to accommodate all the different conference sessions, our membership meeting, our board meeting, all that's falling into place right now this week. So I would say, maybe even by Friday, you'll start to see some details come out about what we're planning there. We have a broad general overview, but certainly next week, you'll start to see the real specifics of the types of conference sessions that you've worked hard on, Victor, to get going. Certainly we'll have some preliminary drafts of our NIGA membership meeting, which is, one of the biggest work we do there is at that membership meeting, and that's going to take place on Tuesday. And then same with the welcome reception. I know everybody loves the welcome reception. That's already out there with Res and NCAIED. We're partnering with them on the welcome reception, and that's at the Dre nightclub on Monday night. And for those of you not familiar, that nightclub is right there on the corner, a little bit past Flamingo, right before Bally's. It's a 1,500 person nightclub. Res likes to do it up big like that. And, we're going to be there and be safe. But one of the things different for this year, especially for our attendees, is we are going to have to, charge separately for that welcome reception. And, it'll be well worth your time and money, but there is a capacity limit of 1,500. And that's nothing to do with COVID or anything. That's just how big the place is. So tickets are, I'm sure, going to be a hot item. And if for folks, trying to do the, hey, Chairman or Jason told me I could be here, I don't think that's going to work. They're going to have the bouncers out front and strict capacity limits there, because it's not, for those of you who've been there, it's a great nightclub, but it's, it's sort of tiered. There's a basement, a middle floor, and a top lounge area that sort of overlooks the strip. So it's super nice. We're looking for a good time to kick everything off Monday night and then get into our work Tuesday morning at the membership meeting.
Yeah, Victor.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ernie.
I talked with, trying to get George Lopez. I talked with him on the phone yesterday, see if he can make it for that event, hopefully for our ribbon cutting. I don't want to stretch him too thin, but we're trying to get him to help us with it. He was really excited about the purchase of the palms by Salmon Well. He was really excited about that. So, but we're trying to get him in there. So if we get him to that event, it'd be cool. So we're plugging away, and I think everybody's going to be there. But yeah, I'm going to have to register the same way and to pay that fee to get into the welcome reception. So if they ask me, I'm going to tell them, I signed up and I checked the box, I registered, because we don't have the same kind of leeway, nor can we afford it that Jason and Mark Van Norman used to have.
Yeah, come on.
Everybody knows I'm guilty.
Come on, come all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Chairman said I could. Yeah, I love when sentences start with that. Questions start with that. And you know what? Let me address the agenda real quick, since I'm in charge of that. The interesting thing about the agenda, and like Jason said, you should start seeing the sessions by the end of the week, or definitely by Monday. Obviously, there's going to be a real strong emphasis on sports betting. I just started putting together a session on California. We'll have a bunch of the tribal leaders talking about that. That'll be the first real big opportunity that we get to talk about California. One of the interesting things for me is that the agenda that I started with in February has been completely changed because everything's changed. A lot of people aren't. They're just, the plexiglass is going. I went through my casino, all the chairs are back in the public areas, the couches and stuff like that. And one of the interesting things, at least that I have noticed, is non-smoking doesn't seem to be coming back in Southern California. But the agenda has just been changing, and the things that I want to talk about in March might not be relevant in July. So that's kind of been a real big challenge. It's just making sure that we have the most current and up-to-date information. So like I said, we should have the titles up by the end of the week, Monday the latest. We have speakers and all that stuff's going to be populated. We have a shorter truncated schedule. It's been, we've been a little shorthanded, but it's going to be a great agenda. I'm really excited. It's probably one of the best ones I think I've ever put together. we're going to have great speakers. We'll be addressing the issues that are important. Obviously, iGaming is important. Dealing with this new administration is important. Sports betting, like I said, and then the most important thing, which is the casino floor. So we'll have a lot of talk about technology and business, and there will also be stuff on health and safety and stuff like that too. So it's kind of close to being locked in. We're still inviting speakers and stuff like that, but as you know, as far as creating new content and stuff like that, we're not really accepting any more session submissions and stuff like that. That window's been closed. The reason why I say that because we're still getting a lot of them, because I think a lot of people aren't they're just excited that the fact that we're going to be back in business and they want to get their ideas in. And I think with the fact that sports betting has just exploded across the country, I think that makes our conference even more important and more relevant than ever before. So are there any questions? Did I miss anything?
Ed, if you can, real quick, are there any major differences on the trade show floor this year compared to the other venues we've been at? Just because, no one, I still haven't even been to this new convention center. And I mean, is the layout a little trickier, or is it in two different halls, or are we all in one area? How's all that?
It's definitely a different, I mean, it's side by side ballrooms. So when you come down from the escalators from the Harrah's property, if you are staying at Harrah's, you're going to walk straight down the aisleway, and then there'll be a center entrance, just like in the traditional NIGA shows. Right down the middle, you'll go. The only difference is that middle aisleway will have walls, but 3 or 4 separate entrances to get in from front to the back. The great thing about this venue is not only is it gorgeous and you don't feel like you're at a trade show, there's so much seating. So like you have places if you want to meet outside of the hall, plus in the middle entrance, like I said, to get in, there'll be furniture there for people to meet and sit down. So that's what I love about it. If you're staying at the Link, you basically walk through like a little outdoor courtyard, which is, let's call it 50 feet, 100 feet maybe, and then you walk right in. So there's food close by too. Brian, I know, we're working with the venue to see if we do some food carts for the show, but I know that, again, outside the Link has a nice food court there. So if you want to get something to eat really quick, you can hop over there and then come right back to the trade show. But like I said, the main thing is everyone at every show has a hard time finding seating just to sit down for a few minutes or to meet with people. There will be plenty of that, and you're going to notice how nice the decor is and great and comfort there is of places to sit.
Jason, the way I would describe it is it's 2 halls right next to each other, and then you arrive over here where the pinky is, and the middle's in the middle, and so it's kind of like that. They're like massive. They're 210,000 square foot halls right next to each other.
It's actually similar to ice, Victor. Where it has a main corridor and left, right.
Yeah.
Now the corridor isn't as big and there's not food service in the middle.
Yeah. I wouldn't compare it to ice because that space doesn't have that same vibe in the middle. It's just basically 2 halls right next to each other with just a little dividing hall, right in the middle of it.
Well, sounds incredible. And you mentioned 2 hotels there, Ed, the Link and Harrah's. Bally's is close by as well, if I'm not mistaken. I guess Flamingo is right near the Link, so that can't be very far either. And then across the street is Caesar's Palace. And why do I mention all those? Because those are all Caesar properties, and that's where we're encouraging folks to stay. And you mentioned earlier, Brian and Ed, that the registration is starting to really pick up, but we're getting room warnings just in general that Vegas is getting booked. So, for the folks on this call, this is, you get the first warning shot. You should book a room now and not wait till 2 weeks before the show because, Vegas is opening back up. They made the large announcement yesterday, and the first thing people are going to do is want to, book their summer vacation there or a weekend getaway. And it's really squeezing our room availability. So you don't want to be too far down the road in, 100-degree heat, having to traverse back and forth to our show. It's great that I didn't even know Harrah's you don't even have to leave the building to get to the trade show floor.
Yeah, no, you don't. If you're in
That's
Harris, you
great.
don't even leave the building. You just walk down the hallways and stuff.
Awesome. That is awesome. So
Yeah. And again, Jason, the fact that the tram is right there and drops you right there, we want everybody to stay in our hotels. And by the way, before we go, is our block with Harris taken yet, or is that almost done?
it's almost done.
It's almost,
Yeah.
there's still some
Get
availability.
on the phone now and book it, like now. Like
Yeah.
now.
Book it. Make sure you're booking through our website because there's a lot of scams out there that will call you up and say they have rates. And please, if it's not from us, an email, do not just delete your emails because they come after you.
What's the name?
Yeah, go ahead, Ernie.
Tell me the name of the website. So we tell everybody the name of the website.
Well, go to indiangamingtradeshow.com, click on the hotel link right at the top, and it'll give you all the options. And again, in my opinion, Harrah's and the Link is where you are the closest. So you can walk there. The other ones, if we have other options, it's not an easy walk.
Okay, and remember, part of the new normal, folks, is that Ernie Stevens don't have a magic wand anymore. So I got to work hard to get my room. I got to check a block to go to the welcome reception. So make sure everybody gets their stuff done because I can't do that stuff anymore. It's just it's called the new normal.
Wow.
Somebody asked a good way to promote the show to attendees. NIGA, as we've been the last few years, we offer a free registration ticket to the show. So if you register with your exhibitor code, you get a free ticket. So anyone that hasn't logged into their portal, please reach out to me and we'll give you your login information. We got to make sure you're updating your online listings. The mobile app gets used like gangbusters at the show. So that's the most important thing, to get that updated. You can order your badges through the portal. Again, the free link. That's how we drive a lot of our attendance to the show. So if there's any questions you have, again, too, GES products, electric, furnishings, order now. As we get closer to the show, the prices go up, and then on site they go up again. So right now you can get the cheapest rates.
The other part too, I wanted to mention, Victor, is any place that we're crediting folks, they got to do it on a pre-registration level. Nobody can show up and say, I got credit coming. If they have credit coming, they got to get it in advance or they can't get it.
Yeah. That
Native Americans and credit. Yeah.
Chairman,
I never heard that. Yeah. Go ahead.
he brings up a great point. If you registered for the San Diego show last year, you've got to take care of dialing in your credit before you show up to the show. There will be no one on site to handle that. And we've been stressing that to the 900 or so folks that paid last year to attend. And we hope you guys can figure that out. Again, it should be a simple process. Again, indiangamingtradeshow.com. And if you go on there, you'll see it walks you through. It's a very simple process to get your credit from last year. But there will be no one on site taking care of that. And we just will not be able to help you at that point, given the complexity of this show and, working with Res and sharing space and all of that. We're going to be 5 different ways from Sunday once we get there, dividing our time between our own show and our responsibilities, but also supporting Res and what they're doing and the collaborative effort. So Victor, part of that is, we want them to get registered because people like to go to your sessions, 2 days, 3 days of sessions. And we don't want to hold anyone back from those training sessions because those are a big, big part of the work we get done. And this year, those sessions are all tailored. It is a new normal. We don't know what next year is going to look like. Everything is changing right now, Victor. Like we're starting supply chain problems all over the place. The computer chip problem, that's impacting the gaming industry. Inflation, I don't know if that's going to come and rear its ugly head, but inflation is a gaming killer. Not many people remember, I don't even remember, but in the 80s when there was bad inflation, who remembers when Vegas, like half the place was shuttered. Hotels, half their places were closed down because they just simply couldn't afford to pay people to clean. They couldn't pay for the food, and that was all inflationary back in the 80s. So please come to our show and we're going to delve into all these things because we do not know what, the next 9 months look like after July.
Yeah, Jason, that's such an important point. We talked a couple weeks ago about the employment crisis, and it's just
Right.
exploded since then. You know what I mean? It's just really kind of, and then with a lot of the casinos opening up for the summer and hotels, and and especially with, I think, with the real restrictive policies of the last administration, I think everything's just coming to a head right now.
Right.
And by the way, we have a question here, and our housing partner is Connection Housing, so don't do any business with anyone unless it's with our partners and stuff like that. Jason, so how is the conference laid out? Let's talk about the structure.
Good
Now,
idea.
someone asked about golf. Normally we start on Monday, we end on Thursday. Normally on Monday we would have golf. How's it working this year?
Yeah, this year, folks, for everybody, and just so you know, Monday is the start of the show, but Rez is kicking it off. Rez's opening ceremony is Monday morning, and they'll be kicking it off. Now, we have our business day on Monday. We've got a board meeting in the afternoon on Monday, and then goes right into the welcome reception. The golf, if we do it, is only for those teams that paid last year, and we are currently researching which teams are still interested in doing that. And so the golf, I wouldn't even call it a tournament. It's going to be a golf opportunity. And, we might meet you down there at the course at, 7:30, 8 a.m. But, once that thermometer gets up to 95, we're hightailing it back inside.
Jason, just some tee times, making some
Right.
golfing available to those who didn't get to golf last year, but not a full-blown tournament.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, if it happens. So that's why it's more of a golfing opportunity for those folks that paid for a golf tournament last year. And we want to, make them whole from last year. So that's Monday. And then Tuesday is when NIGA officially starts with the membership meeting. And we'll be working all day Tuesday, and then right into Tuesday evenings events, which are largely going to be driven by our customers, by our vendors. We'll be at all the events Tuesday night, but then Wednesday morning is the NIGA ribbon cutting, and that'll be a big event, 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday. And then we've got a full, it's Chairman, it's one of the first times, at least since I've been here, that we really will be on that trade show floor from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. that night. And we're going to have, honorings for former Chairman Rick Hill. We're going to have the AGEM reception late in the afternoon. We will be on that trade show floor all day. And I'm glad that there's lots of seating available, because it's going to be a long day on that floor for everybody. So, but I'm looking forward to it. We haven't done it like that before.
Yeah, it's fallen into place, but it's not by accident either. It's kind of coming together for us, and that's where the folks want us to be, and that's where we've tried to. Everybody on the team have tried to do this. The circumstances have allowed us to do this, and hopefully going forward, we'll be able to cover all the bases. But that's our goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That place is going to be hopping, man.
And Brian,
because first of all, the trade show floor is going to be hopping. So we have another chairman's lounge again, like we did last year and the year before. That's where we've decided, instead of just we've set up a stage, we set up PA, we have chairs, and so we'll be creating more content for that. I think on the final day on Thursday, we will be doing some more talk on sports betting on California and stuff like that too. So it's going to be a really exciting place. It's going to be a lot like Carnival in Brazil. I think that's the closest that's the closest parallel that I can think of, right? So Ed, let's talk about your floor, man. So again, 210,000 square feet spaces, and then plus we have another ballroom too, and that's another 40,000 square feet on the other side too. And that's where the education sessions will be, right?
Correct.
Right, Brian?
Yes, it's all on one level too. So, sometimes when we're in San Diego or the other facilities, you have to go up 2 or 3 floors and things. That's not the case in this one. Everything is all on one level. There's 4 actual halls. We're using 3 of them, and I think we're actually going to spill over into the 4th hall. So again, as we've been saying, it's great. We replan this event every month just about, because with the rules changing and things. So, but it's going to be, as Chairman mentioned, it's respect. Health is first, and respect is going to be a part of it. So, and folks, you've heard the name Caesars quite a bit, and there's a lot of Caesars property. This is Caesars Forum. If you think you've been there, you probably have not. So look for the giant Ferris wheel. It's right next door. If you get lost, just go to the Ferris wheel, and that's where you can find it. It's the best landmark for it. It's not the convention center. It's not the other ones. It's a brand new facility. So please be sure you know where you are. And again, as was mentioned earlier, the hotels are attached. Everything is right there. It's going to be a comfortable and close environment and easy to get around.
So how much, if people want to still get space at the trade show, it's still available, right? They can still buy booths, right, Ed?
Absolutely space. And if you want to talk about hot ways to promote yourself at the show, we could talk sponsorship too. We have some stuff limited that we have available, but again, I like to just customize stuff to best suit your needs. So we could talk about an action plan, and then we'll execute it together.
Right. And well, it kind of goes to the bigger picture, how, this is a business conference. We're here to do business. This is the first one out of the gate, and we're very excited to be the first trade show. And we want to make this the best business conference possible. We're all chomping at the bit to get back to the old normal. And if this last week was any indicator, everybody else is ready too. So I believe we've kind of covered almost everything. What am I missing, Jason? We've kind of got everything. Oh, yes, Ed.
I have one question. I've been being asked, which is kind of great. When do we anticipate having the associate member meeting on site? Do we have a date and a time picked out?
No, we don't. And that's a tight one, Ed. And space is very tight, as is our timing. And if we're able to pull one off, and also keeping in mind that the associate members have to set up their booths as well. So, that pretty much wipes out a whole part of Tuesday for them. If we're able to pull one off, it'll probably be on Thursday, if we're able to pull one off. It's not, guess what? We're not as concerned about it because we have scheduled an associate member meeting at the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association, which is less than a month after our trade show, August 16th. So, we're going to meet obviously in out there in Las Vegas, but if we have a formal hard work to do with our associate members, which have slowly been coming back to NIGA and paying their dues, and it's been great to see their re-engagement, we'll have a full complete meeting at the Oklahoma Indian Gaming show in August.
This would be a great time for all of us and associate members included. But again, that window is short because what we're doing is something that they appreciate. We're keeping folks on the floor.
Right.
Right. That's where we'll be doing business.
I mean, Brian,
Yeah,
Brian or Chairman, have you received, I know you get a lot of phone calls on this. Are there any common questions or anything that we should address for our audience right now that we've been receiving? Anything?
Just schedule and timing, just like we're doing now today. I think if every one of them, they would have to call me if they were on this call, because there's a lot of good information here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Chairman. It's that kind of information. What we're saying is book early. Flights costs are going up if you're flying in, so it's better to book earlier. And when the blocks get full, the prices go up as the city gets full. So time is your friend or your enemy. So we always say to try to keep it your friend on it as well. One other thing I don't want to forget about, because pretty soon we're going to be starting, as soon as we're finished here, we're going to be talking about Anaheim. So next year we will be in Anaheim in April. The dates are on our website. So again, that's a little bit of a different twist because we're normally in San Diego things, but next year we will be in Anaheim. So I felt it necessary to mention that.
You mean next to Disneyland? I guess we're gonna have to talk about Florida then, right? I guess we have to do some stuff about Florida sports betting if we're gonna be right next to Disneyland. You know what? That's going to be really exciting. I know a bunch of people when we told them we're going to be at Anaheim Stadium, that they were, or Anaheim Convention Center, they're excited because it's right across the street from Disneyland. So I think it'll be a good time to bring your family, bring your kids, come a little early. And by the way, you might want to book your hotels now too.
Yeah, book your hotels and your booth space, because I know
your booth space.
Soon Ed will have the floor plan. We're working on getting the floor plan up and ready. So That's going to be another couple of weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. But Ed will be contacting you. And again, it's a shorter window this time because you normally do it in March before the show. So it's a shorter time frame. So don't miss the opportunity.
Yeah, just a quick, the way the process works, I'm trying to figure out when to get the 1,500 square foot and above booths on the show floor, which will probably be in the next couple of weeks. But for everyone else under 1,000 feet, just put down your calendars, July 13th, 14th, and 15th. I know it's vacation time in July, so do not worry. We'll get you the information. You can go on vacation. Just send me back your paperwork, and I'll pick the spaces always for you. I will look out for you like I always do, and we'll just go from there. But we appreciate all you do, and the support has been wonderful. And again, we don't have an event without you guys, so just thank you. Know that we really appreciate you.
Yeah, and we've been to the Anaheim property too, and I think a lot of people are really going to like how close the hotels and everything are. They're just right there, and it's just even less walking than normal. So I think that's going to be really exciting too.
Victor,
yeah, go ahead.
Good. I just want to say, that the one thing I'm excited about is the plexiglass. As much as I'm a safety guy, through the pandemic, I put on a few pounds, so it's hard for me to get in between that plexiglass. So, but I think that the thing I wanted to say is that there's a lot of good things happening, and we got to make sure that we help people stick to the protocols. Let's not bend the rules. Let's try to make sure that we encourage everybody to stay safe and be careful and have a great time in Las Vegas. I think throughout this, it's been kind of a tough year or more. But I got to keep, there's a lot of bright spots, and this trade show is just one of them. But family has grown, family gets stronger, and there's so many great things, is watching our kids grow and watching the world come alive again. And I think that's the real good thing about this. And so let's enjoy that. Let's build upon that. And then, like you say, heading into, oh, by the way, none of those, we're making everybody right for Vegas with our booths, but none of those, if they don't get there, that doesn't carry over to Anaheim.
Good point, Chairman.
I want to make sure, but Anaheim's going to be good. And again, that's an opportunity for family. But I tell you what, a whole bunch of my family wants to go to Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
So, but these are great things that are happening. And again, thoughts and prayers and good feelings from our heart as we go forward, because we've been through a lot together, and now we're in a time for healing and building the new normal. So again, that's part of the new normal, is that can't come see Ernie for a free booth, but it's all good, and we're doing good things, and we're excited about it. We're excited about each and every one of you guys, what you're doing, and our teams, our staff, our families, everybody's in this together. So thank you very much.
You bring up an interesting point about the new normal and the old normal, because the thing that I'm really excited about, believe it or not, is the arts and crafts is going to be back. Mm-hmm. At one point we were talking about how do we do it, and I don't think what a lot of people don't understand how important that is to us, and it may feel like something that's just an addition or an afterthought, but it isn't. It really is an important component of what we do, and having our artisans and our elders and people in that space, and creating business opportunities for them too. And when we were in Vegas last time, we were going to be opening up and blah, blah, blah. And we were supposed to, and Chairman insisted that we opened up early so that the booths could be set up, and that the artisans our craftsmen could be set up and stuff like that. And that's when I realized how important this is to us and our heart and our soul of what we are, and what makes NIGA unique. And so I know a lot of people are really excited to get back. And so don't forget not just to buy your slot machines and your table games and your sports betting partners, but don't forget to pick up all the Native American stuff for Christmas and the holidays and stuff like that too. So that's very important.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about Anaheim. We've talked about the conference. We've talked about the rooms. We talked about the education. I think we kind of covered everything. I think one more important thing, I think, is as I'm working on the agenda, just for the next couple of weeks, the new normal is going to be every other week, just so that I can focus on knocking this agenda out. Just for next week, we're going to skip a week, and then we'll be back on again. It's just so I can focus on this exclusively. and we can knock this thing out, and we can have it done in like the next several days, next week at the latest. So, Jason, did we miss anything?
No, Victor, I'm trying to, it's really exciting. We really want folks to be safe coming out there. And, if there's any hesitancy whatsoever, if your tribe still has, limited travel and all that, contact myself or Mary Charlotte, and we'll see what we can send to you to make sure that your tribe understands, you're not going to be out there and irresponsible and bring something back, because, we're excited about this. You can look around the world, the virus is still out there, folks. It's really bad in India, and you can look back in England. They fully reopened up about 6 weeks ago, and they're having a resurgence right now, and it's primarily focused on the unvaccinated. So, this virus will find a way if you're unvaccinated. It's just unfortunate, and we're all about responsibility, and we want everybody to be safe, and I think that's where Las Vegas is right now. And they're going to be certainly a test case. The World of Concrete show, 30,000 people, is coming up, and we'll see how they handle that. That's a really good litmus test for us. And I know we'll be watching the results and how they handled all that. Now that's a little different because it's all outdoors, everything, all the construction equipment and everything is outdoors, but still it's the first large gathering that I know of where everybody's concentrated in one area. And that's different than some of these live events where they've been limiting folks, the NBA playoffs and things of that nature. They've been limiting attendance and requiring vaccination. So this World of Concrete is, keep an eye on that one in the media. And I think it will show well for our show, because they're going to work out some kinks in that one.
Yeah, and also like we said earlier, I mean, the space we're in is absolutely massive. It's 500,000 square feet, and all these little ballrooms fit inside this 500,000 square feet. So 210,000 square feet ballrooms and 240,000 square foot ballrooms, which are absolutely massive. So it's the next best thing to being outdoors. And again, the ceilings are 30, 40 feet. It's just outrageous. It's just, you guys, you'll have to see it to believe
And
it.
Chairman,
it really is massive.
What's the new normal, Chairman? Are you doing fist bumps, or are you doing the hug? Or, I mean, I don't know if we're still doing the old shaking hands thing. So,
Yeah, just fist bumps, that's all, right?
okay.
We're being careful and conservative, but fist bumps will work. There'll be some handshaking and there'll be some shoulder hugs, but I think that for the most part, I think that we got to be careful, and I think fist bumps is what I'm authorizing. How's that?
So again, conference will be open. Agenda should be up real soon. Speaker invites are going out. We're really excited about where we're at. I think everyone's going to be happy with the show we put together. We're very excited. I think that's close to it. So, if you guys have any questions, you can always email Mary Charlotte. She put her email in the chat box, mcgrayson@indiangaming.org. Space still available. We highly recommend you get your rooms today. And also, one of the important points that they did bring up, and I wanted to follow up on, was about airline tickets. And that is the new issue to be concerned about. I've been seeing on Twitter people talking about the prices and transferring and stuff like that. And a lot of that has to do with the lack of airplanes in the air, the amount of people that want to travel at the same time. And this summer, it's going to be insane. Everybody wants to get out. And again, if this last weekend was any indicator, just prepare in advance, and it's coming. This is going to be an insane summer. But listen, for us in the gaming industry, that's great. Our casinos are going to be packed. We got to be prepared for that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be prepared for this new normal, and we're prepared for the roaring 20s have started. So, just strap on your helmets, because here it comes.
Roaring 20s.
Yeah, it's here. So again, we're going to skip next week because I'm working on the agenda, but we'll be back the week after. We'll be talking about other important and relevant things. I'd like to thank my guest, Brian Sullivan. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate all you've done. Mr. Ed Gallo, the king of sales, the king of the floor. Thank you, sir. Jason, my partner and my friend, and without you, man, I'd be lost. And of course, our glorious leader, Chairman Ernie Stevens. We appreciate your leadership, your friendship, and more importantly, your vision. You've done an amazing job. So everyone, Thank you. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Chairman. Thanks. Bye now.